At 1:37 a.m. in the morning, Donald Trump was posting about George W. Bush. Here was the post that Donald Trump made. It was a repost of a YouTube video of Greg Kelly from Newsmax saying George W. Bush's Trump hate can lead to a Kamala Harris endorsement. On Wednesday's episode of Greg Kelly Reports, Greg torched Vice President Kamala Harris for her actions on the border and then scolded former President George W. Bush, the prior leader of the Republican Party. You know, as the corporate media was talking about, oh, there's all of this unity taking place at the Republican National Convention, I'm like, are you watching the same thing I'm watching? Because I'm seeing Hulk Hogan rip off his shirt, and I'm seeing George W. Bush, Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, Dick Cheney, the people who previously led the Republican Party, not there. But that's what Donald Trump's doing at 1:37 a.m. in the morning. Donald Trump is also posting this shortly thereafter. A few hours later in the morning, he goes, Dana Bash of CNN has a chance at greatness today. If she gave a fair but tough interview of Comrade Kamala Harris, she will expose her as being totally inept and ill-suited for the job of president, much as I exposed crooked Joe Biden during our now famous debate. How cool would that be for Dana and CNN? Also, the interview should not have Tampon Tim present to help with the inevitable Kamala stumbles, and under no circumstance should the transcript be allowed to be changed in any way, shape, or form. Dana and Jake Tapper were fair but firm in my CNN debate with Crooked Joe. This is a chance for Dana Bash to reach real stardom while at the same time doing a great service to our now failing country. Good luck, Dana. Do the right thing, DJT. Great work, CNN, that you have the biggest fanboy right now in Donald Trump sending fanboy messages to Dana Bash right there. Also, I mean, Donald Trump's whole language, you have a chance to be famous. You have a chance to be a star, and our nation is now failing. Our nation is not failing. Stop talking negatively about our country. Of course, there are things that can always be improved, but our country right now is doing far better than when you were disgracing the office. Ask, where is your 401k today versus where your toilet paper was when Donald Trump was in office, when there were lines and lines and lines that stretched miles for Americans who were hungry, who needed food, who couldn't get food because they were starving to death when Donald Trump mishandled COVID and had one of the most disgraceful presidencies ever. And he was the only president other than Herbert Hoover, although Donald Trump is Pervert Hoover, to lose jobs while he was in office. Meanwhile, 16 million new jobs were created under Biden and Harris. And the American economy, of all major economies in the world, is the only economy to exceed its GDP projections from 2019, when, of course, COVID wasn't even factored into it, thanks to actual policies implemented by Vice President Kamala Harris and President Biden. Donald Trump then posted this. It's always fake with Kamala. We're dominating her on social media. So she makes up a fake list of her numbers versus my numbers. All of our engagement is real and organic. While Kamala has to pay for her fake engagement, we're beating her like a drum, like we will beat her on November 5th. It's all fake. It's all misinformation and disinformation. We are destroying the Democrats on social media. You are not. There was a report, though, that was just done over here that talks about how a lot of these MAGA accounts, as my dogs are barking in the background, as a lot of these MAGA accounts were actually fake individuals who were Eastern European models right there. For example, here's what Benjamin Strick posted for the Center for Information Resolution, who did this report. A network of fake accounts are posing as young American women posting pro-Trump content and disinformation, but they're hiding behind and manipulating the images of European fashion influencers. What an incredible investigative report. There are more of these fake accounts. We uncovered at least 17 others, some with thousands of followers each, posing as pro-Trump American women and hiding behind stolen and sometimes manipulated photographs. We found in total 56 matching the same appearances in the network. In a number of posts, the fake accounts sought to exploit wedge issues and existing tensions, at times spreading misinfo and conspiracy theories concerning in the run-up to the U.S. election. You know, just like when Donald Trump posts AI images of Swifties and claims that the Taylor Swift fans are endorsing him, which they are not, and then he accepts fake AI endorsements of Swifties. Again, totally fake. Donald Trump's campaign and Donald Trump are also attacking the Fox polls. Donald Trump, this is part of Donald Trump panicking today. He's attacking the poll that was just issued by Fox, which has him down in Arizona, which has him down in Georgia, which has him down in Nevada. And here is the, as Phil Germain says, Donald Trump's campaign managers, Chris LaCivita and Susie Wiles, have totally lost control over their candidate. Trump is now attacking Fox News polling. Here was the press release that Donald Trump issued. We report, you decide. Fox's polling has an awful track record. It's that time of year again. Fox is releasing atrocious polling. A look at the polling from the same time period in 2020 shows that Fox was off, and then it goes into other states. Trump continues to outperform the polling from the past. We see this trend nationwide. So a whole press release there devoted to attacking Fox. Just take a look, though, at this other stat as well. As Donald Trump is panicking. Take a look at the digital ad spending in the presidential race year to date. Vice President Kamala Harris has spent $142.7 million. Donald Trump has spent $25.7 million year to date on digital advertising. Now, one thing I want to point out as well is that for the very first time, it seems that the corporate media is paying attention to Donald Trump's post on his social media platform, where Trump has posted some of the most horrific, misogynistic, hateful, putrid things. And you know, we've been covering this every day, and we've been calling out corporate media, as you have, for not covering this. Finally, we are seeing corporate media paying attention. Like when Donald Trump made this post, this photograph of Vice President Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton, and it talks about oral sex. That's what Donald Trump was posting. And Donald Trump used the word blowjobs in his post. That's what Donald Trump, the leader of the Republican Party, which used to stand for family values, posting photos of Vice President Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton and talking about blowjobs. Seriously? I mean, how despicable can you absolutely get? Then you have Donald Trump making these QAnon posts. I mean, you literally see these photos. The world will soon understand. Nothing can stop what is coming. He has the letter Q plus in his hand. I mean, QAnon is a death cult, and their belief is that Donald Trump's going to conduct mass executions on Capitol Hill when the storm is coming. And so he's posting death cult memes. In and of itself should be disqualifying. Calling for public military tribunals of former President Barack Obama. He posted dozens of these things yesterday. It was post after post after post. But just take a look right here, for example, when Donald Trump's campaign spokesperson, Carolyn Levitt, went on CNN, and they actually asked her about it. Here, play the clip.
You say that Donald Trump was a candidate of stability. Why was Donald Trump, over the last 36 hours on his social media, reposting slogans from QAnon and reposting misogynistic, sexist content about Vice President Harris?
Well, look, I don't think your viewers at home are concerned about social media posts. I think they are concerned with the news.
Here's another clip where they asked her again. Play it.
I will talk about the interview in a second here, but I do want to ask you again. The social media content reposted by the Republican nominee in the last 36 hours, how do you explain it? How do you explain why he is reposting content from QAnon and this misogynistic content?
Again, I will say I have not spoken to President Trump about that content this morning, and I don't think Americans are concerned with social media posts.
Here's Anderson Cooper talking about it. Play it.
Harris and running mate Tim Walz are closing out day one of a two-day campaign through Georgia, the state that new polling just put out tonight suggests may be winnable for her in November. Her opponent was not on the trail today, though it was just 2 days ago that the former president's campaign was saying we'd be seeing Trump on steroids, meaning more appearances in battleground states in the days and weeks ahead. Instead, with the exception of visits to Arlington National Cemetery in Detroit on Monday and a taped interview with Dr. Phil last night, the main place to find the former president has been on social media. Yesterday, he was raging against the new indictment that Jack Smith secured in the election interference case. Today, he took it to a whole other level. The former president of the United States, who wants to be the next president, is now directly spreading the slogans of the conspiracy cult QAnon, as well as posting a crude, sexist, and misogynistic slur online. Reposting, to be precise, which means he didn't come up with it himself, but liked it so much that he wanted the rest of the world to see it, which is both a gentle introduction and a warning. One posting of several uses two QAnon catchphrases: "Nothing can stop what is coming," which refers to the so-called mass arrests of so-called deep state members, which in the warped world of QAnon is basically anyone who has irked Donald Trump. Another posting shows President and Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, and Vice President Harris in prison in orange jumpsuits. Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates presumably there for their advocacy of vaccination. Again, this is what the former president of the United States chose to rebroadcast to and amplify for his many followers. He did not look at this stuff, chuckle silently to himself, if that's what he would do, and move on. Instead, he wanted to give it the stamp of approval of the 45th and perhaps the 47th president of the United States. And then there is this, a photo of Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. The caption, which I'm not going to read out, is demeaning of both women and contains a vulgar reference to oral sex acts. Now, remember, again, this is the Republican candidate for president and the 45th president of the United States talking about two women who, no matter what you think of their politics, are two of the most accomplished women in American political history. This is what he chose to amplify, which, as extreme as it is not exactly out of character when it comes to him and women.
She was by far the nastiest to Joe Biden. There was nobody nastier than her.
She was extraordinarily nasty to Kavanaugh. She was nasty to a level that was just a horrible thing. She was probably nastier than even Pocahontas.
By the racist Attorney General of New York State, Letitia Peekaboo James.
How about low IQ Maxine Waters?
Omarosa is obviously the ultimate villain and the nastiest. I think it's a very nasty question when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone. What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
So I'm glad they're finally talking about it. I mean, also, can we just take a look at J.D. Vance yesterday? I mean, as J.D. Vance says that Vice President Kamala Harris should go to hell. Here, play this clip.
Kamala Harris is disgraceful. We're going to talk about a story out of those 13 brave, innocent Americans who lost their lives. It's that Kamala Harris is so asleep at the wheel that she won't even do an investigation into what happened. And she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
And finally, let me show you that segment from Newsmax, though, as well, that when Donald Trump was panicking at 1:37 a.m. in the morning and about George W. Bush. Here's what that Newsmax segment was. Let me play for you the clip.
Little he was paid. His first order of business upon leaving the White House: I'm going to give some speeches just to replenish the old coffers, because he didn't have enough money. These privileged people. How about the family? You ever see, what's her name, Jenna on the Today Show? I mean, they just go with the wind. Now, they're liberal and woke crazy over there in the mainstream media. Who remembers a football player, Butker, who had a few things to say about family life and tradition, and just maybe the most fulfilling thing in life might be having children, motherhood. You can say that, but you can't say it without apparently tripping out Jenna Bush.
The work they do is incredible.
Yes.
And let's not compare one to the other.
And
by a man.
Thank you. And there are lots of women who actually would like to stay at home, but because they need to earn money,
100%.
They don't even have that privilege.
It's an elitist concept to begin with.
Right.
The daughter of a president complaining about elitist constructs to begin with. I know she's kind of not the issue, and she's not. But it all comes together.
Oh yeah, and with that line that the MAGA Republicans are doing right now. Oh, Vice President Kamala Harris is appearing in an interview with Governor Walz. Why are they appearing together? Just take a look right here. Our friend Antoine Seawright, who you've seen on the show, posted this image. It's like the tradition for the candidate and the running mate to go together for their first interview. You see it right here. They've all done that exact same thing, but now it's now the conspiracy theories are being spread. Oh, why is she having Governor Walz? Because that's just the way these things are done. Anyway, hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together. Thanks for watching.
Real quick, Meta just changed their algorithm to suppress political content. Please follow our Instagram @MeidasTouch right now as we head towards 400,000 followers so you don't miss a beat.